Hello everyone, my name is Little Tito with Legendary Inc. and this is how not to suck as a support class. This is the second video in the series covering all the classes in Battlefield 1, and hopefully this will help veteran players as much as it will help new players. Before we start, I'd like to establish myself with a little bit of credibility, because as Catalyst said in the Scout class video, we want you to trust what we're saying. This is not for us to brag about our stats. I have a little over 10 days played with the support class and a little over 25 million score. As a support player, you're a valuable asset on the battlefield. Having quality support players on a team can make or break a team. It can often be tempting to run as any other class, such as an assault, and get those close quarter kills in, or a sniper from out far taking off heads with one shot, even as a medic with the ability to keep your health topped off at all times. But knowing when your team needs a support class and taking that responsibility is huge. Aside from the medic class, you are the most important class on the field, simply because how much you can do. Some of the ways you assist your teammates are by often supplying ammo for those around you, topping off their mag counts and replenishing their grenades or flares. Spawning in on a scout player to drop an ammo crate so that he can redeploy flares over the combat zone is so helpful to the team. Spawning in on an assault players who are attempting to eliminate an enemy tank is vital in helping to remove that spawn point from the opposing team, along with helping to remove that armored presence. I cannot repeat enough. Drop ammo. Spam that button. Even if you aren't near an objective and are moving from one to another, drop ammo. Someone following you may need the resupply, so spam that resupply button and people will appreciate you for it. Also, don't forget the repair tool. Helping out a fellow tank by keeping him repaired, keeping him alive, that spawn point for your team puts your team at a great advantage. Knowing where to position yourself on the map is key to playing your role to its full potential. A support player typically wants to follow closely to the front lines of assaults. Not in the very front typically, but definitely in the battle. It would greatly benefit you to learn the power positions on every map. And what I mean by power positions is positions in which you can view a decent portion of the map, but also have ample cover. This will allow you to set up with suppressing fire, as well as set up with mortars and ammo crates. So the positions including like the balcony on Ballroom Blitz, the bridge and the surrounding rocks on Argonne Forest, and generally any long range flank, as well as any location that gives you vertical height advantage. The weapons available to the support class are, for the most part, most effective at medium range. Follow your team into an objective, stay at the entrance picking off the enemy as they enter from the other side. Constantly watch the flanks. This is where map knowledge comes in. Know where the choke points are on the map, and as a support player, you're more likely to have a larger magazine. Use that to your advantage. Get yourself a good view of those choke points and lay suppressing fire into them. Bipod if you can. I do not recommend staying bipoded though for a long time, since now you're a prime target for snipers. Now on to the weapons. What's great about the support class is the variety of weapons available to it. If the map you're on calls for more close quarters engagements, running a bar, a shot, or a parabellum are great choices. If the map is more long range, then something like the Lewis, MG15, or Huat may be an excellent choice. My advice is to choose one, maybe two of the guns and get to know them. Play with them constantly. You want to memorize their damage model and their effective range. A player with a gun he is familiar with will always outperform a player with a great gun but who has no experience with it. For myself, I have the most kills in the United States with the shot, which is over 15,000 kills. I'd say that the guns you should stay away from are the suppressive variants. They restrict your view and your mobility, forcing you to hold down choke points with bipods when you could be doing other things to help your team. Not that holding down choke points is a bad thing. That is one of the roles that a support player can fill. But your mobility as a player is one of your greatest assets. Use it. If you have trouble with iron sights, I would suggest trying out the AA sights, which comes as an alternative option for most of the variants offered, especially with a gun like the bar, that has substantial recoil that can hinder your aiming. The gadgets available to the support class are some of the most helpful in the game because it takes a little bit from every other class. For instance, you have a limpet charge for taking out tanks and buildings, and mortars for long-range suppression, infantry and tank DPS, and smoke cover. A gadget I encourage every single support player to run is either the ammo crate or pouch. Never substitute one of these with something else, in my opinion. I found ammo crates are great for large-scale games such as operations, and that ammo pouches are great for when players are typically more spread out, or if there's a lower player count on the map, such as DOM or TDM. Mortars, as I said earlier, are a gadget that can help to clear an objective or do damage to enemy vehicles. The HE variant, as the mortar, does more damage to a vehicle than most people realize, and you can fire upon that vehicle from behind cover. Hitting left on the D-pad when having the mortar out fires a smoke mortar, smoking out whatever position you want, something that can come in handy in many situations. All that being said though, the mortar really is more of a situational gadget. You are more than likely going to be using it in situations where enemies are clumped together, so you'll be switching to it mid-game then switching back to another gadget. I wouldn't suggest running the mortar permanently. Limpets, as I explained earlier, are another great tool to use against tanks. One of my personal favorites. They resupply quickly, are incredible for clearing out buildings, and are extremely effective against light tanks. Use the Limpet SC4, dropping it into trenches and over walls to wipe out the enemy. The crossbow launcher is a hit or miss gadget, especially with the new service assignment flak that everyone seems to be running. That makes the grenades no longer a one-hit kill, unless they have already taken damage. So again, as with the mortars, I say that they are purely situational. I typically run the ammo crate and limpet charge so I can help with enemy tanks as well as supply ammo, and a close second gadget would be the repair tool to help your tanks heal up, push the point. Even though it's not as useful as it was in the past Battlefield games where the tank classes couldn't self-heal, it still has great impact in keeping the tanks in the field. Also, the repair tool can repair AA guns and field guns, so that is especially useful when the airship is in play. And that's about all for the support class. Thank you all so much for watching this video. There are tons of videos like this, so thank you for selecting ours. Catalyst will be back next week to discuss the medic class, so look out for that video. And if you are new to the channel, like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. We put out videos just like this all the time, and we would appreciate your support. Pun intended. Make sure to turn on post notifications as well. This has been Little Tito, and I'll see you all on the battlefield.